Greetings, I'm Stachelin, and some time ago, I made a video discussing the economics of Minecraft, and while that video in hindsight has some glaring holes in it, and is definitely due for an update, it's not why I'm making this video. This is essentially an extension to the first. I have recently seen a growing trend of YouTube videos discussing the possibilities of currencies in Minecraft, whether it be Nether Star-backed currencies, or even wheat, and all manner of things in the middle. While I would like to claim that I started this trend, because I'm pretty sure I had the first video on it before any of those happened, I really can't. There's no way I could. But what does this? I can't read my handwriting. This is terrible. Anyway, we're trying to figure out what works as a currency. There's a lot of options. You could stick with emeralds because it is already an established currency within the world of Minecraft. You can do gold because that's already kind of an established currency as well with the bartering system. You could try the Nether Star-backed securities or even wheat. Those are both stretches. I would not recommend it. Of course, there's the humble diamond, which is used in most SMPs and is a bastion. It's a hallmark of Minecraft economics. In the case of Hermitcraft, of course, it being famous. All of these are good options. Let's talk about emeralds first. Because in essence, emeralds are just the global reserve currency of Minecraft, if you really think about it. It's a currency that's in the most circulation to begin with, and you can make an infinite amount of them and the economy still works, which implies that it must be the global reserve currency. Because it's the only way you can do that, and it's why the US dollar is so inflated, so it must be, right? Before you ever enter the world, these villagers are already, doing what they're doing. They're living, and they have an established set of trades and whatnot, and you got the wandering trader. They have economic structure enough in order to trade between cities with the help of the wandering trader. So that's pretty cool. These guys are actually more economically developed than you would think. So it would stand to this reason that the emeralds are a smart possible choice. There are, of course, glaring issues like we discussed in my first video, where compared to the US dollar at the time, the emerald-based villager economy was 31 million% inflated compared to the US dollar at the time. However, as the US dollar keeps inflating, that number gets smaller and smaller. Anyhow, other options discussed, such as wheat or Nether Stars-backed securities, are incredibly overcomplicated. The wheat wanting, for example, requires you to disable the ability to grow wheat. For one, you can't farm it anymore. That's awesome. Because that currency would be so rapidly inflatable if you could even begin to grow wheat. So that's an issue. Can't do that. So no bread for anybody. If you wanna eat something, it's potatoes or it's something else, which is fun. And even then, if you still want to use villagers, you still have to use emeralds no matter what. So you have to have two currencies. Although that's not the end of the world. Nether stars are far less massively inflatable, but still massively inflatable. You can still farm withers. All you need is a wither skeleton farm and access to a place where you can kill withers. Or you can build an overly complicated wither farm, because they do exist. So, again, overly inflatable. Just like pretty much all things in Minecraft are, because you can get an infinite amount of most things in Minecraft. So both of those options, which I think have been the most discussed as optional currencies go, or other currency options rather, go, they both require the restriction of game features to work. It's either you stop players from being able to kill withers, so no beacons, which me personally I would hate that. I would not play on that server. Or you stop the growth of wheat entirely. It's just illegal now. So both require mass restriction of game features to work. I wouldn't recommend it. Diamonds, of course, have been proven to work. In the case of Hermitcraft and hundreds of other SMPs that copy that economic system, diamonds work incredibly well. They're not easily inflatable. You can dupe them, yes, but that's really the only way to get diamonds outside of mining them or selling something and getting diamonds from the proceeds of whatever you're selling to other people. Unless you are... There's no real way to farm diamonds, which makes them hard to inflate, which is good. The economy will generally remain rather stable, and you won't have people getting rampantly rich and then just doing whatever. You won't have... Your economy will remain kind of in one area for a very long time because people are required to go and mine for their currency. So that is a significant benefit, and it is a good choice. There was a point in time where Hermitcraft, around, if I remember correctly, season 7? I think it was. Which, I think it was 7, because it was the season that Grian built the barge. It's when netherite was roughly first being added, and they discussed using netherite as being a currency, which is another decent option. You can farm netherite, but there is only a finite amount of ancient debris in the world. So your economy can only inflate so much like diamonds. There's only a certain amount of diamonds in every world, unless you dupe them. Netherite is a little bit easier to try and inflate because of the gold component, and you can make an infinite amount of gold from a gold farm. That is something you can do. So that's a little bit worrying, but it's really not the end of the world, because it's it's only half of the component you need. You still need the ancient debris to get scrap to make your netherite, so that's really not an issue. But the main issue with all of these currencies, outside of emeralds, is being required to have multiple currencies. Now, that's not the end of the world. Multiple currencies ensures that the World Economic Forum is competitive and allows you to work in multiple currencies in different areas. It allows you to trade easier, actually, having multiple currencies, because you just convert your currency to another and you leave it there, and you can do what you want in that area with that currency while keeping your own. It's actually how a lot of global trade currently works, and the global trade system seems to be fine enough. I mean, sure, it sucks at times, but what doesn't? So, being required to keep multiple currencies really isn't the end of the world. However, emeralds are infinitely inflatable. You can make an infinite amount of emeralds. Pretty easily, too. All you need is like an iron farm, or gold farm. Heck, there was for a significant period of time there, if you had a couple librarian villagers, you can infinitely trade books and just dupe emeralds that way. I do that in my hardcore world, because my hardcore world's old enough to have it. So most modern servers won't have that issue, but again, iron farm, gold farm will do it. If you have an infinite source of anything that it can be farmed to sell to villagers, wheat even, if you can grow wheat, you can have an infinite source of emeralds. So emeralds are infinitely an inflatable thing. But realistically, before players have any of that stuff, you know, diamonds, gold, emeralds, nether stars, before players have any of that, what do? They barter. Just like the piglins. They barter. It is the oldest and longest running form of economic exchange. Is you have a good that I need, and I have a good that you need, and so we trade based on perceived value. It's what all players do at the beginning of servers. If they need something, they just trade it. Hermitcraft is doing that still, even after starting to establish their shopping district and what all. I mean, Impulse and Skiz and Tango and a couple of other players are all trading around different items. You know, they've got all kinds of farms, wool farms, shulker farms, and they trade around the goods. Scar has a deal with Skiz for mangrove for sand, if I remember correctly. So they're bartering. They're making trade deals based off of goods that they have that other people need. And they trade those goods. So, to kind of make my point here, despite all of these possible options for currencies and trading and discussing the economics. We have to realize the economic system of Minecraft is far, far more simple than we thought, because it goes all the way back to people being people and trading for what they need. Bartering. Just the simple exchange of goods. It doesn't think about quantum easing and economic growth policies and how high should interest rates be, and what should the Federal Reserve be doing? Do we need to mint more currency? No, dude. I have food. You need food. I need leather, and you have leather. So I give you food, and you give me that leather. And we're both happy. So, I leave it to you. Discuss in the comments. What do you think? Do you think that any of these currencies are actually genuinely good options? Would you use them in your servers? Or would you just stick to bartering, like many servers do? Many SMPs don't have any shopping district of any kind. It is a common idea in people that, want to mimic Hermitcraft or have something similar to it, which is an entirely different video and conversation, but wanting to copy something just because you think it's cool is not the end of the world. Like, unless you're trying to actively sell something, like somebody wrote something else and you don't give them credit for what they wrote and you're doing plagiarism, rarely does copying anything from somebody else really matter. It's really not the end of the world. Anyhow, yeah, discuss in the comments. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I criminally stupid? If you like the video, leave a like. Consider subscribing. It greatly helps me out. Anyhow, guys, that's all I got time for. I hope you guys enjoyed. See ya, nerds. Bye.